So I've got a bunch of sounds in here already that I've kind of haphazardly loaded onto these pads, and I've already selected ones I know I like. So let's go into 16 levels for velocity. And I'm going to be starting off recording this quantized. I'm going to go for a single bar for now. Okay, so that is all snapped to the grid. So let's make that a little more interesting. Turn on Don't Snap. Take this clap, shift it quite a bit forward. And then I want to shift basically every other hat to be a bit late. Now I need these percussions to kind of match the hi-hats. Here's the more dialed in version. So I actually had this hitting quite a bit early. Maybe a bit off kilter, but we can kind of justify it with this. Here's what that sounded like originally at its original pitch. That gives it some nice swing, I think. I also have this sound originally from its own snare, but I've cut off the beginning of it because I want to double up every other snare. And then I'm just going to line this up exactly with where the clap is hitting. Nice. Matcha break. All right, so next up, I doubled this pattern a few times and then just started filling in all of the little pockets of silence with little bits of percussion and ear candy just to keep things a bit varied. All right, so I've left the hi-hat and the snare going just for reference, but then I've muted everything else that you've already heard so you can just hear, oops, the little bits of percussion. And those are little bits of Foley I recorded, things like dropping a coin, paper rip. I think that's a water bottle somehow. Drumsticks hitting together. Some stuff I got from others. So, all together. And I didn't originally make it this long. I came back and did that because I also loaded in a bunch of little melodic samples, some from Splice, some from Marlowe Diggs, etc. We're going to get to these chops a bit later. So this, I figured I could take a lot farther than just being one static sample. So I loaded that into a key group program. And I've got some post-processing. Tiny bit of granulator. A little bit of reverb. A little bit of flavor. Tiny bit. And the ducker, which you are going to hear right now. Up next, bass. And this is a very simple hype patch with the cutoff way down, because that's way too intense for this. I think it was somewhere around there. I've also got a good amount of glide on it. matching what the sample is doing. So I've prepared, off camera, these sample chops, and then a different chop of the same sample. And I've pitched these around a bit. Same with this. So I'm just going to use these as little melodic fills, basically. So we filled in those little gaps and kind of created a little patchwork melody thing. So next up, I want to add some more layers, and I found this patch, which is doing its own little riff thing. This is the FM paid plugin. It's not intended to be an ad for it, but it's going to be perfect here. Just following what's already going on. Just interacting with the other elements in kind of a fun way. And as you can probably tell, I have that side chained to the kick. It clashes a bit with some of those melodic samples. And you can hear I messed up when I hit this note. So let's nudge that forward. And we are good to go. Our kind of floaty section. I've definitely got options for how I want to arrange this eventually. All right, so one more silly little element I want to add is this Jura patch. I have to figure out exactly what I want to play. You're going to hear it in the final beat. And in fact, let's have you hear the final beat right now. Thank you so much for watching. If you'd like to see some more MPC One, I've got you covered with this video up over here in kind of a similar format, and I'll be back with a new one in a little bit.